In this video, we are going to create a back-to-school countdown for our wall. First of all, we open a new document by going to File and New, and then you whether have already a preset. I guess you don't have. I had created a preset for me, and when you look on the right side, you see the dimension of that. If you don't have a dimension, or if you don't have a preset, of course you don't, you can add the width and the height here on the right side. And also set it to 300 dpi because you want to print it, and that's important for printing. And then you set the document units, and usually for me it's pixel, or here at least it is pixel, so set it to pixel. And then the orientation needs to change, and the rest doesn't matter right now. And once you do that, just create your document. So first we are going to set some guides and set them to 100 pixel. So first we pull it to the right, and we just try to find the 100 pixel, or we have a very interesting tool here and go to View and then the Guide Manager, and then we can set it. The vertical guide is already set, and we can do the same now for the horizontal guide. Just click on the new one and just set 100px for 100 pixel. And when you press enter, it's done, and you can close it, and you see both of them are there now. So next step is going to add a grid in this case. So just set grid here, and when you click on that, you get a manager, and you can create your very own grid here. Click on basic and then say what spacing you want to have, and for us it's now 300, and the divisions can be 2. And of course we need to show the grid because we want to see it. Also make sure that you have set the show axis editing handlers, and it's important to set the point for 0, 0, and you see that in a second. So we are going to set it now to the right and to the bottom to 100, 100 to this our pixels we had set before. That's important because we want to align later the apples on the right place. So now we want to start designing, and for that we will open our kit, View, and Studio and Assets. This opens up our assets, and I have already added the kit back to school, and from there we can get the backgrounds. I'm using that one. It looks like a blackboard, and now we can just make it a bit smaller to make it fit to our document here. Usually it's 12 by 12 inch. But we don't need it, so we make it a bit smaller here. Be careful with increasing the width. It can get blurry. But click on the key here so it's locked. We don't need it right now, that's why I turned it off. And next step is to pick the apple, which we need later for the days of our countdown. And now we are going to make it much smaller. It has to be 300 pixel. You can let your guide from the guidelines we have set, but you can also go to the transformation panel and just add it to width and height here and set to 300. Just make sure it's locked as well. So now we need to put it to the left, and make sure you have put these tools on so it snaps to the left here on the top. Yeah, so make sure you have set that on. And now you need a second apple on the right side, and you just press the Alt key and press it on the right side. So we are able to set the dimension later. So now we need to set 7 apples, and we just make a few more. We are looking for the alignment at a later time. We just count to 7. So now we have our 7 apples here, and we have the first one and the last one. And now we are going to mark them all, click on the alignment, and just click here, and you see it's now set completely automatically to the middle and with the same distance. So now with Command G, we have a group of apples. Now we need to do that 5 times because we have 5 weeks per month. Of course, it's not sure, but we need at least 31 apples, or not at least, we need 31 apples. Even if the month has less days, we can better leave them out than having not enough. So that's why we need these 31 apples. If you press the Shift key while you pull it down, you see that you are in the center and you can snap it onto the bottom. Once again, we have 1 row on the top and 1 on the bottom. And now you copy more rows here. With Alt key, you can just copy the lines and have more than 1 or 2. You need 5 of them. We align them in just a bit. So now we have to place them correctly. Mark them all, click on top left to bottom right and mark them all. And once again, we go to the alignment tool and now go to the center and just make sure you have them aligned correctly. And click on apply and you're done. So now we are done so far, but now we have too many days, so we need to get rid of some. We have 35 days actually, but we just need the maximum of 31. And so we are getting rid of 4 of them. So we ungroup. And now choose 4 of the apples so we can delete them. We'll just press the delete key and they are gone. Now let's turn on the blackboard. And you see it's a little bit too big, so we need to mark them all and make it a bit smaller. Once again, go from top left to bottom right and make a group. And then you make them a little bit smaller here with just pressing Command and Alt, and you make them a little bit smaller here. Don't have to be that much, but a little bit. So once you're done, you can release the button, and now you can add the label here. It's our back to school element. You can also decorate it in a completely different way if you want to. And now we turn on our background. So so far it's ready. We can turn off the grid so you can see much better how it looks in future. And the next step is adding the little numbers here. Now we need to get the single days into the apples, and so we pick a font of our liking. So just click the A for the font and then click on into the apple. So we zoom in now so you can see it much better, and I can see it much better, of course, as well. I press the left mouse key and just go to the bottom, and you see it zooms in. Now let's go back to A. First of all, we choose the font and the color of the font we want to have. And then you choose what size you want to have them. So we need a white color for our shark. And as you learned, just click into it and pick the white color here. Let's set a font size. We can always change that later. I have picked a font that fits to the chalkboard. And we have picked for that chalk duster, and it looks like a chalk, yeah, so that's why. But you can, of course, use whatever you want. Press on the left now and to the bottom. Now you see the size my letter will have later. So for now, and now it's set. We just set 31 and we have a size somehow. You see, you can have even the same one because there are lines and it sets the same amount for the font. But we can also do that later on. But just you know that this works as well. Okay, let's do all the other numbers here, and we are going to align them later. So now we just go on adding all the numbers here. Okay, we are done now. You see, without taking much care of the sizes, or we can set that later on. I tried though to make it the same size, but I guess it's not. So first of all, I'm going to mark everything which has an A. Yeah, so we can set it to the same size. So we mark them all in our layers palette, and then we go to our A once again and set it back to 30. So now it's all 30. But you see what happens now. Some fit better than the others. So we need to do some things manually as well. So we can also now grab each apple and each number and press the alignment so we have made it in the middle. But that's also, yeah, tricky because let's release the group first. But when you double click on the apple, you don't need to release a group. And if you press the shift key and mark both the apple and the number, we can align them. And when you press that now, so you see that works just fine, but it doesn't work for all numbers. The 7 is not 100% because there is a stamp of the apple, so it isn't 100%. It's not really good. So sometimes you just need to do it manually. And when you use the arrow keys, you can move them up and down. So you can adjust that a bit so it looks all much better later on. Yeah, when you press the shift key and go back, that's also nice because then it doesn't move anywhere, just there where you want, to the top and to the bottom. But we can always set them to the middle, and that's what I'm going to do now. I mark them both and set them to the middle. But it's not doing well when I press both buttons there. So we are done. You see, it's different for the numbers with two numbers. So 28 is much harder than just a 2. So now you can save it, print it, and hopefully you have a lot of fun with it.